Hey folks, welcome back to Patriot Ridge Farm. It's Mike. I'll have to apologize if the sound gets cut out here a little bit because it's extremely windy today. First day of spring, it's 43 degrees and it was snowing this morning. So the piglets are doing great. They're growing well. Just fed them. This area here, this entire paddock, I mean, they have definitely wiped it out. And they went in here with me knowing this was also going to be a winter sacrifice area for them, so they've done exactly what I wanted them to do. I had to start bringing their feed over here because all this area over here where they had been rooting into a seep has turned into a full-blown spring now. Plus there's water coming out of that spring, there's water coming out of the hill here, and there's a spring pretty active right here on this side of the hill. So it's keeping that really soupy down there, so I just keep them pulled over here for the feeding anymore. Not to mention I'm not in mid-calf mud feeding these guys. All right, so we measured off the perimeter of this field over here where we're going to move these guys to. So we're at 1,311 feet in distance around the whole field. I have to get my tractor in here to brush hog a couple little areas where it's kind of taken over by a bunch of briars and stuff. So I'm going to do that. Thankfully, it's starting to dry up now, and I don't have to worry about sliding over the hill. We went and started cutting black locust trees for the fence posts because we figured, depending on how far we space the wooden posts out, we're going to need about 46, 47 posts to do all of this. And that's mainly going to be, there's going to be 3 gates on this field. So there's going to be one right there below the water, where the water tank trailer is. There's going to be one back there at the wood line, and then there's going to be one at the little road that goes down over the hill over here. So we're going to put 3 gates in there, and then I'm going to do field fence on this paddock. So when I do this field, we're going to do field fence with 1 hot wire on the inside of it. And the reason for that is that's going to be more permanent. I still want to have access to it for future use and to move the pigs and stuff in and out of there. I'll probably have to put a gate right here near this corner. And I actually may just use that corner right there because that post is already there and it's concreted in. I'll just set another post over here off to the side and put like a 6-foot gate in there, an 8-foot gate. And that way I can just open that up, let them move in there when we're done with the fencing, and they can just move on and do what they need to do. So things are greening up. The grass is definitely much greener. It's a sight for sore eyes, let me tell you. I'm just so tired of this drab, colorless landscape. And I love to see spring come on. The trees are budding out. Some of the nasty stuff is starting to green up as well. But that's going to be the plan for this. So technically there'll be 4 gates here. There'll be at least a 12 or 16-foot gate up here to be able to get the tractor and equipment in and out of there. Probably a 12-foot gate on that side, and probably a 12-foot gate right down here at that corner post right there where that road goes down over. And we'll get it fenced in, and it'll take us a while to get it done. But once we do get it done, we can turn the piglets in here. This grass will have grown significantly by then, and they'll have plenty of forage. Now we'll split it right down the middle on the right side of those trees there. And that way I can just give them this whole side, give them a few weeks there, see how well they do, how much disturbance I get, and then I'll open it up and let them move to the other side, and then I'll come in and reseed all this. So those are the plans. We've had no progress whatsoever on the high tunnel just because of the amount of mud and rain and stuff that we've had. Every weekend for the past month and a half at least, when I have the most time to work on that thing, it has just rained. It started either on Thursday night and rained all through the weekend, or it started on Friday night and rained all through the weekend. And it's just been no-go. Couldn't get anything done. So tomorrow, I took half day off work tomorrow. I'm going to a class that's being put on by Eastern College over in Randolph County at a big farm over there. And it's a high tunnel greenhouse class. Kind of goes over the construction of it, shows you the setup on the inside and everything. It only cost me $20 for, you know, the admission fee and everything, and the registration fee. So I'm already set up and go over there. And this farm is, I've never been over there, and I'm really anxious to go. It's like a bed and breakfast over there, and I can't think off the top of my head of the name of it, but it's a bed and breakfast, and everything they serve you there is from right there from the farm. So they have high tunnels, they have animals, chickens, all that good stuff. So it's going to be a really good place to go visit and learn tomorrow. It's only like a 3-hour class, but it gets that networking going, gets that those contacts made so I can reach out for future references and stuff like that for any projects I have in the future. Now, I said before in previous videos, we're only going to run one group of chickens this year, one group of meat chickens. It's only going to be 60. And we just went with 60 because we're going to do the Freedom Ranger collar yield, which takes about 10 to 12 weeks depending on to reach full maturity. But they're a hardier bird, they're a better forager. So we're going to bring them in and try those. And that's just because we got so much stuff going on this summer. And with the focus on the greenhouse and the fence and stuff to get that done, that's what's going to take precedence. So I don't want to be tied up with a bunch of that kind of stuff. Another thing I'm really going to focus on this year is our rabbits. I've already got one rabbit tractor almost complete, and I need to build about 3 more of them. So I'm going to focus on getting that done and get my bunnies moved out on grass. And I'll get them bred, I'll move them out on grass. And each rabbit tractor will have a little closed-in space in the back to where they can go in and get out of this weather, get out of the sun, and they can actually have their kits and they can or have their babies in there. And I think we're just going to go that route. You can wean the bunnies at about 4 to 5 weeks, and you can turn right around and rebreed the mother again. So I think if you breed consecutively, like one doe can produce over 100 pounds of meat or even up to 200 pounds of meat a year. And you know, rabbit is actually more nutritious protein wise than any of the other farm animals. So it beats chicken, it beats pork, it beats beef in protein content. And as far as fat goes, I know a lot of people have heard about rabbit starvation type stuff. Well, that's only because of the absence of fat in their diet. If they don't have any other source of fat like butter, olive oils, lard, or anything like that, that's where protein poisoning or starvation can come into play, because they don't have enough nutritional fat. But today we have butter available to us. We have olive oil, avocado oil, you have lard available to you. So rabbits, really, they're only 1% less fat than a whole chicken is. But protein wise, they beat chicken, they beat all the other animals, and a lot of good minerals and stuff in them. And you can take, even if you want to grind up a rabbit and make like rabbit burger, you can grind in the organs, the heart, the liver, and the kidneys. If you even want to do that, you can grind that up and put that in with your beet or with your ground, and you're going to get all the fat that you need from that, including all the plus minerals and stuff. And they're so small from a whole rabbit that you'll probably not really notice the difference in your ground rabbit meat. So rabbit's a good source. It's absolutely 100% reproducible on your property. You don't have to have a farm or a homestead per se. They're 100% reproducible. I think their gestation is anywhere from 21 to 27 days, somewhere in that range. So from the time they breed, in less than a month, you're having baby bunnies. And 4 to 5 weeks, you can, piglets are fighting over food. 4 to 5 weeks, you can wean those bunnies and turn right around and rebreed mom. And in another less than a month, you've got more kits again. And then the bunnies can grow out, I think about 8 weeks. To where they're about 5 or 6 pounds, and you can butcher them right then and there and have them as a good food source. And if you've never had rabbit literally does taste like the chicken that we're kind of used to. These may be a little different because of the way we raise them and the way we're going to plan on raising them, because I want to get them out on the rabbit tractors and get them on the grass. I want them eating a lot of the greens, and we'll supplement them with the dry pellets. But I really want to get the rabbits out on grass and let them forage. They're already the most feed efficient animal on the farm right now. They're very low maintenance. Honest to goodness, they're low maintenance. I go every 2 days and I top their feeders off and I fill their waters up every 2 days. In the summer, I water them a little bit more often, especially if it's really hot. But I also bought the 64 ounce rabbit water bottles, so I can double my my water ration for them, and probably still only go about 2 or 3 days to have to fill it up and just top it off, make sure it's fresh and clean. So rabbits, the good thing about that is if you live in a town or a city or in an HOA or a community where they don't allow livestock, but you can have rabbits as pets, man, you can turn around and breed rabbits, butcher rabbits, and they can't say a thing to you, because all you got to say is that you're just keeping them for pets. And because they make no noise, they have very low odor, if any, as long as you keep their manure cleaned up. But it's like the quintessential perfect animal for self-sufficiency and a quick turnaround for production of meat for you and your family. So we're going to focus on that this year, and I really want to start getting my breeding back up and going, because I didn't breed at all this winter. So I really want to get them breeding again, and I'll sell live rabbits. We'll sell, butchered rabbits and stuff like that. We have our rabbit certificate from the state. So that's another thing we're going to focus on this year. And then as things come to fruition and we move along and stuff and finish getting the rest of our meadows and stuff fenced in, we'll move up to lambs and then cattle and stuff. And that way, we have all the food sources and stuff that we need here, and that we can raise enough cows for us and family and a couple friends. And the same with lambs. I'm not going big scale with my job. I just, especially during the winter months, low light hours and stuff, I just do not have the time that it would take to make sure that they're taken care of. Now the cattle we plan on getting in the future, they're going 100% grass raised. I know a couple people who have cows and breed, and I've already been told, hey, if you want to buy a couple calves from me, a couple weaned calves, let me know. And when they calve, I'll make sure they get no grain. They stay straight from mama to the grass, and that's all they get. And then in the wintertime, of course, we can supplement them with hay, but no grains whatsoever. Grass-fed beef to me is phenomenal. It's fantastic. It tastes so good. And a lot of people will disagree. Of course, it's just a matter of taste. But it truly tastes like, I think, so much better than store-bought and grain-fed beef. You may not get the fat marbling and everything else that you look for in your steaks that you get from the big box stores. And the fat's a little bit more yellow instead of the white color because of the grass and stuff that they eat. But like I said, to me, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And that way, that just keeps my feed costs down. I can figure, if, for each cow, they eat roughly 26 pounds a day. So I can go ahead and plan for the winter and say, okay, so I need X amount of round bells for the winter to get them through, because each pound, so each bell weighs 1,000 pounds. I can go that route and just divvy it up between however many cows we have. So that makes things a little easier. And then, of course, building the soil with their manure and then moving on the grass and everything like that, it improves the soil in your area or in your fields and stuff. It improves the grass, and it's just to come in behind them and overseed if you want to get different species and stuff in. So a lot more to do. And this, like I said, this isn't something, even if this was my full-time occupation doing this, I would still not be where I want to be, because there's just a lot of work to do. And you have to just take your time, and of course you're fighting the weather all the time. Now today it's the end of March now. You're getting to be near the end of March. The middle of March started with all the wind, and we've had pretty good strong winds pretty much for the last week and a half, and rain, and then turned cold again and got snow, and we've had a few dry days. But we're just going to move forward as we can. I'm done fretting over this stuff. I really am, because I'm the type of person, I want to get things done, and once I get set in my head that I need to get it done, I get frustrated when something gets in the way of me doing that. But we're still working towards it. And like I said, I'm trying to get a little bit more patience. With age comes wisdom and patience, is what they say. But I'm just starting to scratch the surface of that. We get old too quick and wise too late. That's our problem. But so anyways, pigs, they're doing fine. They're growing out great. A little slower than what we anticipated. But of course, I'm certain once the grass gets growing and we get this fenced in and get them on that grass, they're really going to start shooting up in size. And I don't care to keep them a year to get them to butcher weight. I really don't. Even though it does increase my feed costs feeding them, once I can get them on the grass, that's going to really decrease my feed costs. I still feed them once a day like I do now, but they'll have a lot more forage and stuff like that to put the weight on them. So time and patience is what it has to take, and that's just how we're going to have to look at it, and just take it as it comes. But anyway, so it's been a while, unfortunately, since I've got a video out, and I do apologize for that. But again, weather has played a significant role. I've actually done like 3 videos and just went back and reviewed them, and they all just terrible. I stuttered and paused and couldn't think of things to say, and you just really don't have any content when every day is just spent getting your chores done and going back inside to get out of the rain. So now I did take in the high tunnel, because I had some low spots in there that were holding some water. I took several bucket loads from the tractor of compost and went ahead and put in there and kind of smoothed it out. And that way, because it's such a heavy clay in there, that water's got nowhere to go. You depend on the wind and the sun to kind of help evaporate that. But unfortunately, we haven't had, we've had the wind, but we haven't had the sun. And then it's just continued to rain. So I put that in there real good, put a good layer on it, and that compost will absorb that water and hopefully get it up and let it evaporate a lot easier than it would just straight off of the clay. So far it seems to be working. Again, we're looking at rain again coming this weekend. So this weekend's completely out of the picture. It'll probably be April before we get started back on the greenhouse and really make some good progress on it. But again, as days that we can't work on that, as long as it's not pouring down the rain, we'll be out here. And what we're going to do is go through and set our wood posts. I'm going to set my gate posts first, figure where my gate's going, and then measure back to this first post right here. Where's it at? I'm backwards again, right there. I'll set my gate up there and then measure back to this fence post and then fill in the difference between. Then I'll move on up the road and then go down over the hill. But I got to get that brush hogged, so that's what I've been waiting on it to dry up from. Anyways, that's it. That's where we've been. And again, I'm sorry I haven't gotten much content out there, but you know, my daily chores, to me, for a YouTube channel, just doesn't constitute good content. Some people may like it, but it doesn't get the hits and the likes and the comments and stuff that I enjoy, because I enjoy people's comments and stuff. But these little turd heads, they're doing all right. They're growing, and it's dry over here, but it's soaking wet over there from the springs. So I'll definitely have to do something in the future here to get those springs diverted, and get that water going to one specific place, not all over the place. Again, another future project, and that's par for the course here. All right, I'm going to cut it now. I still got a couple more things to do out here while I can. We'll keep you guys updated. I really hope to get some good information from that class tomorrow, and I'll fill you guys in on the next video. Hopefully it doesn't take as long to get another one out, and the weather's a little bit more forgiving for us. So in the meantime, stay prepared, stay free. God bless y'all.